And what girl doesn't appreciate that nice as new Lux look these days?
Right you are. Keeping nice washables new looking up to 3 times as long is a fine thing for the budget. Thank you for coming tonight, Miss Mona Barry. Back now to our producer, William Keeley.
Act 3 of Anchors Aweigh, starring Frank Sinatra as Clarence, Kathryn Grayson as Susan, and Gene Kelly as Joe. Poor Clarence Doolittle. He's so in love with the waitress from Brooklyn, he forgot all about the fact that Joe's been patiently waiting at the picture studio to see Susan, to tell her the truth about the make-believe audition and shoulder all the blame. But there's one fact Clarence couldn't possibly know. Joe Brady's fallen quite hopelessly in love himself with Susan.
Why, Joe, I didn't know you were here.
Hello, Susan. Are they through shooting? Can I talk to you?
Well, what would you like to say, Joe?
Well,
well, perhaps I can tell you. Clarence is a very fine boy. Oh, I know that. You saved his life, so you owe him something, and you've decided that he's just about right for me. Does that about cover it?
No. No, that doesn't come anywhere near it.
Oh, yes. And you like a very definite type of girl, and I'm very definitely not it.
Don't be mad, Aunt Susie.
I'm sorry. What is it, Joe?
Well, Susie, what I've got to tell you, it's not very easy, but, the same thing happens every time I'm with you. I hear myself saying words that never have anything to do with the things I really feel about you.
Well, all I know are the things you say, Joe, and I don't like them.
But I've never said what I really wanted to say because my way of saying it just isn't good enough.
Well, then there must be some other way.
Oh, sure. Sure there is. It comes right out of Romeo and Juliet and the Three Musketeers and all that stuff they say in books and movies. Yeah, movies, like they're making here now. They're full of words I want to say, but I can't.
Well, did you ever think of trying, Joe?
Nah, you'd laugh at me. I'd laugh at myself. Words like that don't go with sailor suits and 4-day leaves and the world we live in. Will you see that scenery over there?
Mm-hmm. That's for the picture we're making.
Yeah, long ago. Make-believe. That stuff. A world of cloaks and swords and, I don't know. If you lived in a place like that, I could tell you.
Oh, Joe, why don't you tell me? Please tell me.
But all right, then I will. Susan, I love you. I love you.
You're a little late, Joe. It's 6:30.
I'm sorry, Clarence.
Joe.
Yeah?
You,
Yeah?
Nothing.
Clarence?
Yeah, Joe.
If I was to tell you that Nah, it's been a hot day, hasn't it? Bartender, give me a beer.
Joe, look, I gotta...
No, Clarence, you look. Clarence, sometimes things happen and, you just can't help them, see? You meet somebody and you don't think it's anything and then, all of a sudden it is something and
Gee, that's exactly the way it happened.
Don't I know?
Yeah, it's wonderful, though.
Well, it could be, but not when you double-cross a pal.
When did you find out, Joe?
Today. But I've had a hunch about it pretty nearly from the beginning.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, I didn't. Not until I kissed her.
Huh?
Of course, last night when she dropped the noodle soup on me, I should have known then.
The waitress!
Yeah. Gee, she's a terrible waitress.
Oh, no!
Yeah, Joe, you mean you're not sore at me?
No, I'm not sore.
Is she sore, Susie?
Susie? No, I wouldn't say she acted sore. No, not at all.
Even when you told her there wasn't going to be any audition?
No.
Joe, you mean you didn't tell her? Well, what did you tell her? What could you be talking about all this time?
Oh, just things.
Joe, you're in love with Susan yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see? I'm not such a dope, Joe. You're going to ask her to marry you, aren't you, Joe?
Gee, I'd sure like to.
Well, when? Before or after she doesn't have the audition with the Turby?
A Turby? Clarence, I gotta get to a Turby.
Hmm.
But where? He's got to light someplace. He's got to have someplace he calls home. Home. Home, Clarence. Home! Come on, Clarence!
Yes, gentlemen. Oh, good morning.
Has Mr. Atterbury...
You're the same sailors who were here last night.
All night. We slept under the tree.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, but he gave a concert last night in Bakersfield.
Yeah, you told us. That was last night, but
He just phoned. He's going straight to the studio.
Oh, thanks.
Gee whiz, that's awful. What are you going to do, Joe? You know, our bus leaves at noon.
Well, I'll go straight to Susie's house and stop her before she leaves for the audition. Now, look, Clarence, don't let this spoil it for you, kid. You go to see Brooklyn. You haven't got much time.
Well, I'll be glad to go with you, Joe.
Nah, beat it, pal. This is something I got to handle myself.
And I've been worried, Joe. I was afraid you wouldn't come and see me again.
Donald, you don't think I'd go away without saying goodbye.
Joe, if you're looking for somebody, Aunt Susie isn't home. She went to the studio. You can see Mrs. Murphy, though.
No thanks, Donald. Look, kid, I've got to get back to my shipping. Well, will you tell Aunt Susie something for me? You tell her that I tried awfully hard to make things come out right, and that I'm awfully sorry it had to end that way. Have you got that?